Hello and welcome back to AR77, another head-to-head comparison video ready for you here today. Two very popular pistols on the table in front of me. We have the Beretta 92A1 on the left-hand side going head-to-head with the Taurus PT92 on the right-hand side. So the Beretta, manufactured and distributed by Umarex as far as I'm aware, certainly distributed by Umarex. I'm not sure exactly who makes these. I think it's Umarex. On the right-hand side, we have the KWC PT92, which is a replica of the Taurus PT92 itself, built off of the same kind of plans, slightly modified as the 92 platform when Taurus obtained the rights to make these types of pistols. But in terms of the air pistol, this is the kind of the unlicensed, just KWC plain version. Sometimes you'll see these pistols released as the GSG 92 or the Swiss Arms PT92. But as I said, this is just the KWC kind of unlicensed version. Both of these pistols do have a bit of CO2 in them. I have checked them, so there's no ammunition, there's no BBs in these pistols. They're both 4.5mm or .177 caliber BB shooting replica air pistols. Before we move them out of the way then and get into the comparison, let me just take the magazines out of both of these pistols. You can see, while we've got this magazine out, you can see the CO2 housed there in the PT92. You can also see that there's no ammunition in the magazine itself. Pretty standard in terms of tightening the CO2 into that pistol. And likewise for the Beretta, let me just pop this pistol down here. You can see that we have no ammunition there in the magazine itself. And likewise, you just tighten the screw at the bottom to pop your CO2 in there. This follower does kind of lock back, and you can drop the BBs into this little drilled out hole here, so that makes it easy to load the BBs into the Beretta. In terms of the Taurus or the KWC, it's a bit more challenging. You have to hold the follower back and push your BBs in through the top, so that's a little bit more of a challenge, but nothing that would cause you too much trouble, I wouldn't say. Let's move the magazines out of the way and move on to the Beretta. Then let's have a look at the markings in terms of accuracy. Well, you've got all your nice Beretta markings here, the PB there, Pietro Beretta here. I would have preferred it to be etched into the slide, as I'm sure we all would, but that kind of works for now, I guess. Lovely markings on the grip, very accurate representation of the 92A1. Particular details, this kind of swooping smooth trigger guard here. The rail is identical to on the 92A1. Grips all perfectly identical. Yeah, mag release there. True to the actual Beretta, you've got the safety on the slide there. And what I will point out, actually, in fact, it gives me an opportunity to do this. You can see that there's no BBs down in that stuck in that barrel at all there, and there's nothing stuck in the back, which sometimes happens with these BB pistols. Yeah, once you've wrapped the slide and the pistol is kind of live, this full metal safety also works as a decocker, which is a nice little addition to this pistol. True to form, again, with the actual Beretta 92A1. Full metal safety, full metal hammer, full metal trigger, lots of metal in this pistol. I think only really the grips themselves are plastic. Nice big chunky grip on the 92A1 there. On the other side here we have some more markings. This kind of is a bit more of a giveaway. This is a shame in a way, but I guess it's got to sit somewhere. You've got your actual caliber markings there, .177 or 4.5mm. Nice red dots there on the safety or fire selector, and it's a fully field strippable pistol. So you can take this pistol apart, clean it and pop it back together again relatively easily. Interesting detail, circular kind of takedown button there, which is true also, as is this cutout here for the 92A1. On the other Berettas, on the 92FS for example, it's far more similar to that kind of oval shaped takedown button there, as you see on the PT92. Other interesting facts then within the design of this Beretta, nice big chunky grip, and obviously it has that kind of extended sort of flare, I would call it, on the back here. There's probably an official term for that, but where your thumb sort of sits in there, it kind of flares out, really filling filling your palm in terms of gripping the pistol. And you also have this kind of a curved round here at the bottom of the pistol at the front side, at the front, which really holds the pistol nice and firm within your grip. Really nice pistol, really decent blowback. Let's just have a look at the blowback. I'll pop the magazine in and we'll just quickly have a look at how that looks, if I can hold that catch back. So, yeah, so pretty snappy blowback there, and as I said, you can put that pistol in safe just like that. Let's drop that magazine back out of there. Really nice pistol, really chunky, really lovely to hold, and really accurate to the real steel. One more detail, lovely white dot sights front and rear on the 92A1, make it really easy for sight acquisition. Let me show you a little bit of shooting. I loaded it with 10 rounds and fired it a little bit earlier on. So you can see that as I'm hitting the target there, it's forming a bit of a group. I'm not a million miles away from the target. It's not going bang on, although I think I did get one right in the bullseye, so to speak. But it's got a nice, fair enough group, although I'm quite close, and I think over distance that might prove to be a bit less accurate. Obviously, there'd be a bigger spread between your shot placement. Let me put that there for you. So there is one right in there. And for the most part, you know, they'd fit under a 2p piece, those that group of shots there. So fair enough. I think, you know, you're not going to be a million miles away if you're in your back garden often, shooting at tin cans and things, knocking things off walls. So it's fair for a plinker. Let me just take that out of the way and move the pistol out of the way also. Here we have the PT92. Let's go backwards this time then. Let's have a look at the accuracy of the PT92. As you can see there, although it's shooting low a little bit, you've got a far tighter group of hits there on the target. Let me just show you the actual shooting as it took place. So you can see there again, I took roughly around the same amount of time to place my shots, have a bit of a, you know, a beat in between each shot, and place them as accurately as I felt I could. And you've got a bit more of an accurate grouping there with the Taurus, with the KWC rather, the PT92. But much of a muchness really. Again, you know, in terms of plinking in your back garden, both of these are very adequate. Okay, let's have a look at the blowback then on the PT92. Let's just show you that actually there's nothing in the barrel there, and there's nothing stuck in the back there. You can see a little glint there. That's a piece of a kind of a follower that sits in that kind of mechanism. So there's no ammunition in the pistol. There's no ammunition, as I showed you before, in the magazine there. Let's pop him in there. Put ourselves in that position, and let's show you a bit of the blowback. If I hold that switch down there. Okay, so now it's the loud pop to that one. I'm going to drop the magazine out again. On the real PT92, this would also function as a decocker, I believe, but it doesn't on this one. In the UK, we're not allowed to have full auto versions of these, but I think around the world, when you pop that down to that position, it engages full auto on this pistol. Let me just pop that down there, because I think the same is true also on the 92A1. I think there's usually a switch here. You can see that it's kind of conspicuous by its absence here. There's usually a switch there which would switch that onto full auto, but not the case in the UK. Make of that what you will. Plastic here as well on the safety. Safety cannot really be engaged on the PT92 until the pistol is cocked, and then you put it on safe. But unless it's cocked, you can't really fully engage that safety. Yeah, once we've got a rat slide, then your safety can be engaged. I can't really talk to you too much about branding and things, because obviously this is unlicensed, so it's just the KWC markings. In terms of the pistol operation itself, yeah, pretty good, pretty standard to the the actual Taurus PT92. Sights, not quite as bold, not quite as good as the 92A1. You've just got the white dot at the back there and nothing on the front blade, but that is adequate. You know, it's adequate. You can still get a fairly decent sight picture, and you can always pop a little dot on the front there if you wanted to. Takes down exactly the same. You know, you just pushing the button there, disengage that and your slide will come off nice and easily. I feel that actually the 92A1, the previous pistol, is kind of held together a bit tighter than this, a bit closer tolerances. But this feels really slick, really nice to use. Everything moves nice and easily. When you're taking it down, things come apart really straightforward. It goes back together really nicely. Let's just pop that back up. Goes back together really nicely, really straightforward. And nothing feels like it's kind of forced or you're having to shove anything into place. A really smooth pistol. Maybe that's because I've shot this a bit more often than the 92. Again, you've got the rail on the front there, nice addition, as per all PT92s by Taurus after a certain point. I think they did release them without the rail in some models, but then they stuck to actually putting the rail on every model after a certain point. You've got the kind of the Taurus grips here. Obviously, you've got your safety there in a different position. For me, that's kind of a bit more handy than having it up there on the rail, which is why Taurus decided to kind of move it down there. It's far more similar to the position of a 1911 safety. And true to form, if you were carrying the real steel, you would obviously be able to then carry it cocked and locked in that single action, similar to how you would perhaps carry a 1911. Obviously, that wouldn't be the case here in the UK, and certainly not with the air pistol version. I'm not recommending that anybody carries these around. These are for back garden plinking or safe range shooting. Big detail here, slide serrations. Yeah, we got these bigger slide serrations or more deep slide serrations as per the original Taurus PT92. If we compare that to the Beretta, yeah, it's a bit more, they're a bit more fine and kind of close together. I do find these really grabbable, really easy to get hold of, especially if you've got gloves on. Really easy to get hold of there, and your safety is nicely out of the way. Also, did want to mention, just in terms of detail accuracy, on the rear here, on the sort of the back of the grip here on the PT92, you have this little detail here. Now on the actual Taurus PT92, this is a kind of a key lock with which you can sort of you insert a kind of a hex key of sorts, which will lock the whole pistol down and make it unusable, basically, and lock off the whole pistol from a safety perspective. So just a nice touch that they've used the sort of they've used the mould to highlight that detail. What else could I mention to you? I think that's about it. I think in the real world, often the PT92 by Taurus is seen as a kind of a cheaper alternative to the Beretta, the 92FS, I would say specifically, rather than perhaps the 92A1. But really, I mean, yeah, I suppose that's true in the airgun world also. This is going to cost you closer to upwards of 150 quid. This you could probably get for around about 120 quid in a lot of places. So, which is the preference? Is it the PT92 by KWC, or is it the 92A1 here by Umarex? With the KWC one, yeah, you're saving a bit of cash. You probably get that a little bit cheaper, and you've got a really lovely, well-built, full metal, field strippable, fully functional replica air pistol. Although on the left-hand side, you do, with the Umarex, have the pleasure of owning a fully licensed Beretta 92A1, so that may well just sway you there. Get out there, get into your local your shops, pick one up, have a look at it, see what you think. As always, please take care, stay safe, all the best, bye.